Are you ready to break down the walls and experience a freedom unlike anything before? My goal is to impact your life to let you know you are not alone. By covering areas that most won't touch due to shame, guilt, fear, and condemnation, I will give you strength, courage, and actionable items that you can implement into your daily life to help find freedom and have unashamed faith. Welcome to Unashamed Faith. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unashamed Faith. Wow, what a week it has been. First off, I just want to say thank you. This week has been just absolutely amazing with the growth of Unashamed Faith. And the people that have reached out, that have been listening, that have messaged me, that are just really soaking in some of the things that have been said and realizing that they are not alone. I just, from the bottom of my heart, am filled with so much gratitude and am so blessed to know that even if you get just one little piece or one moment of understanding that you're not alone, one moment of knowing that you can do this, that you have the power and the authority and the strength to get through whatever has been brought your way, and you see that little piece of victory, you see something in your battle, whether it's depression, anxiety, fear, losing a parent, rejection, self-harm, suicide, just horrible thoughts, the bad mindset, the heartbreak, the financial struggle, any disease, illness, things that come along with that. It's absolutely knowing that there's victory on the other side and that it can happen, and that we've got to keep pressing on and we've got to keep going through it, because there is truly something on the other side, and it's God's blessings and it's His promises, and it's some of the most amazing things. And while I still am constantly on this journey, it doesn't end. It never ends. This past week has been one of the most amazing weeks. I've started my days earlier. I've been in the Bible. I've been in journaling. I've been building Unashamed Faith. I've been doing things differently than I've done before. And it's been amazing. But what I really learned yesterday, it's crazy how God will put you in check if you're trying to control things too much, if you're trying to take hold of what His hands are on. And let's be honest here, I am someone that I like security in a way, and I like knowing what's going to happen. I like being able to have control over a situation most of the time. There are certain things where I'm okay, I'm super chill, I'm super good, but sometimes just knowing what's going to go on is important to me, and with that, it makes it very, very difficult for God to do His job and to do His work that needs to be done so that I can be the person that I am supposed to be in this world, so that I can fulfill what I am supposed to do, my anointing and my gifts. And if I try to change that or control it like I have the past 30 some years, then that tends to cause a lot of issues, right? That tends to cause us to need to go into a very specific type of season. And that is the season that we are going to talk about today. And I get to correlate it to one of my favorite things that I no longer do, but something that I think is beautiful, and I love it and I miss it, but I also know the big picture and what my goals and what I want to achieve are. So today we are going to talk about the crushing. That's right. The crushing, being crushed. So my first thing is I'm like, well, what is the definition of crushing? What does it mean to be crushed? Because realistically, we all look at like, you need to crush grapes to make wine, right? So here is the dictionary version: to deform, pulverize, or force inwards by compressing forcefully. Can I just tell you that does not sound fun? And can I also tell you that is what the last about 4 to 5 months of my life have been. So when I read that, I go, deform, yep, pulver, yep, force inward by compressing forcefully, yeah. The amount of things that I have had to go inward to face, to honor, to heal, to figure out, to learn is beyond insane. And so yesterday, I've had this amazing week, right? And I've been go, because I'm like, I'm feeling better. I think I'm out of this season, and I think things are, they're happening, and I'm ready to take control. And I go to prayer and worship on Saturday morning, and all of a sudden, I am bawling my eyes out, tears streaming down my face with no idea why. Not sure. It wasn't like, I'm overjoyed and these are amazing tears that are happening. And it wasn't, oh my gosh, I'm so sad, my heart is breaking from this specific situation, or this is how I'm feeling right now. It was like I rolled up because I was up at 4:30 that morning. I was writing affirmations, declarations, journaling, mapping out so much for Unashamed Faith. It was insane. Like I was on one in such a great way. Like you couldn't stop me. And I got there and it was like waterworks galore. And so at that moment, as this is happening, I drop to my knees and I just sit there and cry and worship and sing and say these words to God in the song of just, I surrender to you. I'm sorry. I am sorry for any sinful thing. I'm sorry for not trusting you. I'm sorry for not believing you. I'm sorry for not standing on your word. I'm sorry. And what I realized is that there's still in that moment, even God just said, I'm healing you. And I sat back down in my chair because then just all of these thoughts started coming over and over again. And it's amazing because the things that were coming, he was just, he told me there's something that I'm praying for so hard right now. I am praying. I'm exhausted. I'm defeated right now. And he goes, it's yours, baby girl. It will happen, but enjoy it. Enjoy this ride. Enjoy what's being built right now. And that I'm still trying to do it on my own. The first thing I wrote down was stop striving. You're still trying to do it on your own. Just be. Break off performance. It will all come to you. You can still be strong and be a leader in healing. My tears are healing you. Let it flow. Stop trying to be so strong. You can do both, but honor those feelings. And if I'm being really honest with you, I was so not planning on sharing that and what I wrote. But as I've mentioned, I am allowing Holy Spirit to lead these shows and these episodes, because I feel that's where the truth is going to come from. If I try to control it too much, you will not get what you need from me, and it will not be driven by God. And this is God's plan. This is God's vision. This is what we're doing. I am truly just the conduit to this. I have just been blessed and honored that he chose me to say, I trust you with this, to help others. And so while I am truly still in the crushing, it is my responsibility to be honest with you about that, to share that truth with you, to share these things. And so some of the crushing moments that I wanted to share and to talk to you about, things that I've gone through, and you may resonate with this and you may not, but I look at the things that I've had to face. So let's realistically, 2019 has been a year of such an interesting crushing. Realistically, since about August has been the biggest. August of 2019 through now and still going through this has been so much work and crushing. And what's really interesting, because there was this period a few months ago that I went through, and the feeling that I had was that I got out of, it was right after I got out of the hospital, and I was this person, but at the same time I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know some days how to get dressed. And so I would sit there, and the best way that I could describe to people how I felt, because they're like, "Well, you're here and how are you?" And I couldn't answer. I legitimately could not answer. I would just smile and tears would even start. Like, I couldn't speak because I didn't know what was happening to me and what I was going through. And my my best way to describe it when I finally could get words is that I said, I am basically a skinned naked dog sitting on the street corner in the pouring rain with people just walking past me, not knowing. And I had felt so alone and so distant from the world, from God, from who I was, from how to even communicate, how to act, how to be. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be in social situations. Are you kidding me? I used to throw events, like, and host and run and do this and talk to everybody and speak, and I couldn't. My social anxiety was just through the roof. I didn't know how to be around people. It was so awkward and so hard at some moments. But I am going to preface that with, I also had some of the most joy in that season. I had moments where I experienced laughter like I never have, sobriety like I never have, joy on the beach with my toes in the sand, sunshine, realizing what God has created. I've enjoyed moments, true, raw, real moments with people in my life that I don't think I could have ever experienced before, really finding God and being saved and knowing how amazing life can be in such a different way. And so, along those lines of the things that I've had to face and to realize in those moments that have crushed me are honoring even in the past. So with that piece, God really was removing things. God was really saying, what are things that you're turning to and creating as idols? I'm putting people as idols. I'm putting, friendships, relationships, mentors. I'm putting titles, being an entrepreneur. I tied my identity to that. Where do you live? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of clothes do you wear? I tied all of that to my value. What can I do for people? I mean, I had called somebody that I love from the bottom of my heart, and I had to own up and say, I think that if I don't help you, you're not going to love me anymore, that you're not going to be there for me, that the only reason that you keep me around is because I can help you, because I bring this type of value. And that to me is scary, to realize that that's the way that I looked at relationships and friendships and partnerships. And that's no way to live. That's no way to want to live either. And so God's been doing this in this crushing period where I had to go inward, forcefully go inward and compress, like, what's actually happening? What does this mean? to become something new, to become someone new, to understand what my identity is and to understand whose I am and who I am. So when I say whose I mean that I am God's. I am God's daughter. I am his princess. I am his heiress. I am his royalty, which means I am a child of God. It means that I am victorious. It means that I stand on the word of God, that I deserve, that I get those promises that he has promised, that I get to live freely. I get to live freely because I choose to face these, because I choose to stand in this crushing, as painful and as scary and as hard as it has been. I get to live in it so that I get the promises on the other side. I get the dreams that I have dreamed since I was a kid that I forgot about, that I stopped dreaming. I get the marriage that I want. I get the house that I want. I get the kids that I want. I get the life that I want. I get the abundance. I get the joy, the overwhelming, abundantly flowing joy, because I choose to honor this and stand in this crushing and know what I'm worth and know whose I am. And by being his daughter, I get these things, but I don't get them for free. I am working. He loves you unconditionally, no matter what. But there are lessons, there are ways to make sure that you are the greatest you ever, to build your character right now. And I remember going through this even a few months ago, back in early December, when I was even facing one of my darkest days very recently. I got prayed over, and even my mentor and dear friend, she goes, he's not stripping you, baby. He is cloaking you in his righteousness. He is humbling you. He is teaching you honor and humility. And I tell you, the way that I lived before, I'm fine with that. I don't want to be that person that has an ego. I don't want to be righteous in a bad way. I don't want to be someone that carries this clout with me. I'm me. I'm a child of God. And as I said in the beginning to you, I am blessed to be here. God chose me as just the conduit of this message to help you and let you know that you are not alone. And so while in this crushing, this has been that time of transformation. And I love one of the things, that another word that is called when you look at things that have to go through some sort of crushing, right, is transmutation. And so the greatest example, of course, are grapes must be crushed to make wine. You look at diamonds, they have to form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release the oil. Seeds grow in the darkness. So I just read a post today too. It's, if you bury a seed, in 3 days, you're not just going to dig it up and be like, ooh, is there progress? What's going on? No, you water it, you care for it, you put it in the sunlight if it needs it. You do what you have to do and you keep pressing on. And then one day, once that darkness, it presses its way up and through that dark, healthy, cared for soil, you will start to see it blossom. But what's amazing about that is if you don't mess with it and you continue to press in, when you press in, those roots go deeper. Those roots get farther in, so that when something comes, when something falls off, when something breaks, if a wind comes, if someone knocks it over, the roots are so deep, it is anchored to its truth. It's anchored so far in with its roots that it is unshakable, it is unbreakable. You cannot tear that down. And that is what God wants you to be. He wants you to press in and to hold on to that. So even in this crushing, face those things. Crushings of what I've had to deal with through this period of time has even been owning my suicide attempts when I was a kid, owning what I talk about here on this. It's the thoughts that come into my head, even the negative, the horrible self-talk, the you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not valued, you're not worthy, no man will ever love you, no man will ever marry you, you'll never have a marriage like that, you will never be good enough, your clients will always think that you failed them, that you're a thief, that you're a liar, that you're not good at this, that you're just faking it. And until I tell you, all of those things have come in, all of them have come in, and it's horrible to deal with, but I cancel those. I cancel those in Jesus' name, even as I say them now, because they are not true. They are lies from the enemy, because I know, again, whose I am, even while walking through this, even when it's not the prettiest thing to go through. Processing being hospitalized again. Talk about crushing. After you go up and get prayer and you're like, I'm healed, I'm good. And less than 2 weeks later, you are in the hospital bed going, why am I going through this again? Why is this exact same pain here? What is happening? God, didn't you heal me? Wasn't the purpose of this to go through? It crushed my spirit. It crushed my faith. I tell you, you guys, you go back and listen to episode 3. That was me sitting there going, I'll pray for anybody, believe for their healing, believe for their things. But at that point, when I was sitting there in that hospital room, I couldn't stand people going, you're healed, you're healed, you're healed. And I'm like, well, you're the one up and walking, not having a million needles poked into you, not being tested, not in excruciating pain, not knowing what more brain damage is happening to you right now. So stop telling me that I'm healed when you can get up and walk out right now and I can't. And that moment, like we talked about, it changed me. It changed who I was, and it changed my relationship with God and how I looked at things. And it crushed. There's so much inside of me that I don't know even the person that was there before going into the hospital. Processing my dad dying is another crushing. It doesn't end. It's been 11 years. It doesn't end. It doesn't stop. It doesn't just go away. And so facing that every time, you heard on the last episode, that crushing, still healing from that. It still happens. That weight still carries and still breaks my heart. Going through heartbreak, on top of that, relationships that were life changers, I'm still breaking off from hurt, from lies, from self-talk, from negative talk being spoken over my life, from words. I mean, just this past Sunday, somebody said something and I brushed it off, and I didn't realize until the next day, after, I'd really gotten into a funk later that night and I couldn't figure it out. And then the following day on Monday, I realized it was the same words that were spoken over me by someone else that hurt me so bad. And that the only way that I knew how to react was to shut down, was to also think, then again, something's wrong with me, or that I just have to sit here and be quiet, because in that former relationship, I didn't have a voice anymore. And that I wasn't allowed to have feelings. I wasn't allowed to care, that it didn't matter. And so having that triggered again, it brought back so much hurt. And it brought back so many moments of just going, this is the old me. I retreated. I didn't stand up for what I wanted. And I didn't think that what I wanted, even on the back end, was possible. And so what's crazy is that this morning I woke up then and I wrote what I deserve and what I want and what I believe is possible for me. And so it's amazing how even in that crushing and in that moment where how do you take that? Because I can allow that space to have the devil still come in and let it eat me alive and let it affect me and affect my relationships and affect how I deal with things. Or I can sit here and go, no, I know whose I am and I know what I deserve. I'm breaking through that. And then it's the crushing of the healing and the freedom. It is amazing how phenomenal it is to be free. But there's a lot of things that happen while you're going through that healing and freedom. There's a lot of dark things that you have to face and realizations that you have to make and humbling moments that have to come about and things that you have to think of while you're going through this to honor it, to be fully true, to be 100% transparent, to be anything and everything that you 100% need. And so I love that even within that, as difficult as it is, that there's still just such beautiful things that can happen and that can go through it. And so I loved this piece of going, it doesn't matter, but whenever you're feeling crushed, whenever you're under pressure or you're pressed or you're in darkness, You are in a powerful place of transformation. And so every time these moments feel like they're defeating me, yesterday I literally I was like, I'm exhausted, I'm defeated. I broke down at prayer today. Somebody's like, well, keep being obedient, keep doing that. And I just go, that's all that I'm doing. That is it. Even today, I just broke down because I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. I am ready for my blessings. But this crushing, I tell you, we are squeezing every little bit out of me, every piece, every morsel of what's left in this grape, what's left in this coal before it becomes a diamond, whatever it is there being pressured, it is being pushed on, it is being taken to another level. But I at least know, and what keeps me holding on is God's blessing, God's word, that there is transformation that is happening, and that knowing that if someone else is going through this and I can own it and talk about it, that I can honor that and share it and let someone else, hopefully, again, let you know that you're not alone and sit in this. And so one of the quotes that I really love that has, it's not even a quote, I don't know why I'm saying that, it's a verse. I like to say that it's a quote because it realistically is from Jesus. Jesus said it, so it's a quote. We can quote it. Because I stand on it. I stand on this word. And this is such a great word while you're in this crushing. So if you're in this crushing period, know that you're not alone. Know that there's so much that you can do. Know that it's okay, but keep pushing through. Do not give up. Your victory is there. It's coming. You will look back at it and say, I was that dramatic about it, because I'm already looking at that about a few things just at the beginning of this crushing. But this, I love this. I love this verse. So it's from the book of John, John 15, verse 1 through 13. So this is Jesus speaking. I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend. I love Jesus. I mean, God is so beautiful and he's so gentle. And to me, I read this and it's so simple. We're here. Take off the things that don't produce fruit, the things that are not good, the things that are not healthy, those idols like we talked about, the titles, the toxic people, the negative self-talk, the things that don't actually create your value. Remove those. We remove them because they do not produce fruit. And prune the things that do. So who I am and the way that I speak and the stuff that I do, it produces fruit. It bears fruit, me speaking life over people. But could it be pruned? Can I be better? Absolutely, which is why I'm in this crushing, so that I can only further step into the calling that God has given me. I am purified already. I've been saved. I am pure. I am clean. My sins have been washed away. Each day is a new day for grace, a new day for mercy, a new day to start fresh. So I do not need to hold on. I release those old things. I release the sins. I release yesterday, the burdens, the worry, the anxiety. But without Jesus, if you do not remain in him, those apart from me can do nothing. I truly believe that. There are things that will happen, but there's not the most raw, pure form. So that as we gather, those things that have fallen off, they will wither, they will die, they will burn. But if you ask him, which is why I know, like I said today, I could write out what I want, what I deserve, what I believe for, because I can ask him, because I know that I am allowing him to crush what needs to be crushed so that I can stand, to prune what needs to be pruned, and that I will stay in his word. I will read this over and over again to know that when I ask for anything that I want, that it will be granted. That there is a love that is so deep there that I didn't have to do anything for it. I just had to be me. I was born. I found my father. I sought him out. And I said, I'm yours. I'm here. That's it. Everything else is all the crap that I just got to work on, right? It's all the working off the performance spirit and the thinking that I need to be of value, do work, do a job, do a checklist, do a fast, do this in order to gain something. Will it draw me closer to him? Absolutely. And will I continue to do that? Yes, but I will change that mindset and work on that. And like I said, I'm still a work in progress with all of it. So some things that I want you guys to be able to walk away with is that, even in this time, as hard as it is, they're action items, but they're not like, here's a quick checklist and here's what you can go do. You don't do it just once. You don't do it just in the morning. You don't do it just to say you did it. These are things that you must do on a continual basis, that you have to process through. And that first one is press in. You have to press in. And I understand that this is one of the hardest things to do, but do not run away. You can't run away from this, because it doesn't matter. If you run away now, it's still going to come back. So handle your ish. Press into what God has for you. Press in to what you're supposed to be doing. Press into that hurt. Press into those emotions. Press into that fear. Press into that negative self-talk and cancel it. Say no more. Press into the negative talk that's spoken of your life by others. No more. We cancel that. And you go then find God. I sit on my knees. I cry out wherever I am. It's at church. It's in the shower. It's in my bed. But I go, then use me. Then what is this for? Then God, that I am here. I surrender as your vessel. Then you know what? Don't take me out of it, but make me stronger. Make me stronger for whatever comes next. I can handle it. That you can try to crush me, that the devil can try to attack me, that anything can happen, but make me stronger. I don't want to run away. I'm not a coward. I am courageous, for I am the king's daughter. So make me stronger. Build my faith. Build it up. I will be here. I will press in. That if I'm in the fire, I don't ask you to turn it off, but I know that Jesus is in there with me. And when I walk out, that I will not have a single scent of smoke on me, because you are in the fire with me. So press in so that you can get through this, so that you can have your blessing, your victory, your diamonds, your wine, your everything that you've ever wanted, your dreams bigger than you could have ever imagined. You will have them. God will bless you with them. Press in, press in, press in. The next one is to listen. Listen to what's happening. Listen to where you are at. Listen to your gut. This is something that some days you can recenter, you can focus in the morning. I do it in the morning, but some days it happens midday. It happens right where you're at, and go, I need a break. I need a moment. What is God telling you? Is he telling you to rest? Is he telling you to chill out? Is he telling you to go right? Or is he telling you to go left? Or is he saying, be still? Be right here. Be with me. Take a 20-minute nap. Put your headphones in for 5 minutes. Put on a worship song and just honor who he is. Is it telling you to go write the journal? Write down what you know that you deserve, so that you regain that strength. You regain that confidence. You dream again of what you want, but listen, press in and listen and trust in him while you're listening. There are things even this past weekend where he said something and I kept questioning and I kept asking, and he's like, this is what you have to do. This is where you have to go. This is where you have to be. I said, okay. And I do. And it was the greatest decision because I listened to him. I trusted my Father to know that in the big picture, he knows more than I do. I just know what's right here. So listen. And finally, pray. Pray, 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 pray. Journaling is amazing. Meditating is amazing, but meditating is quiet. Meditating is something that it's in your head, but when you pray, when you speak out loud, when you say things, when that is heard, it makes such a difference. So what I want you to do is pray. You pray alone, but you also pray in community. You find others who have gone through a season of crushing. You listen into this, but you pray. You ask them to pray for you. You say, here's what I'm struggling with. You honor those feelings and you own it, because in order to get through it, you've got to press in. You've got to pray. You've got to speak life over yourself. You have to be prophesied over. You have to break off that old junk, the self-doubt, the rejection, the fear, the hate, the old lies that were spoken over you, the old soul ties that were made, the agreements that were spoken over you. I mean, I broke off another agreement by a psychic that said things that I would be married to this other person that would have control over my life to do that. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I came into agreement with that a while ago and I need to break that. I no longer stand in agreement with that because I want to be done. I want full 100% freedom. So pray. And if you need someone to pray with you, reach out to me, message me, say something. It's okay to need help. Being strong is owning this. It's honoring it to say exactly where you're at so that you can actually press in, you can walk through it and come out on the other side. So I love you all. I thank you for being here. I thank you for owning your truth. I thank you for giving yourself permission to listen, to grow, to heal, to be crushed in all of this right now, even as scary as it is. So if you guys want to reach out, feel free to reach me on Instagram at Iam_Nick, Nik Marie. Otherwise, you guys can reach us at Unashamed Faith Show on Instagram. Make sure if you liked this episode, if you got anything from it, please screenshot it, tag me on Instagram, share it out, share it with a friend, write a review, subscribe, rate it. I love hearing all of the amazing things from you and the transformation that is happening, that is going to happen, the God stories that are coming too. So I love you. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you soon.